So I will take some examples of RowMapper today. So my first use case will be that I will pass the course ID and I want students list of students who are doing that course ID. Okay, you can pass the course ID or the course name, whatever you feel comfortable. Let's start with course ID. So I will pass the course ID. So if I pass 1, it will return me a list of students who are doing that course. If I pass 2, it will return me a list of students who are doing that course. Make sense? And we'll do this using the repository as a class, not repository as an interface. So because as an interface I've already implemented this. So if see over here, get single course details, okay, and get all course details. But here it is giving me the course. I want the list of students. Okay, so I want get student. See here we have get student by course ID. So which is this using? This is using the interface, right? Now I want to implement the same thing with the help of JDBC template. Okay, so we can use this method instead. So this method of the existing student repository I will be needing. Okay, so if I pass this, so if I call this function find by course ID of this class, so all I have to do is pass the course number to it and it will return me the list of students who are pursuing that course. Okay, because we are querying the student table over here. So display me all the detail of the student table where course ID is whatever I am passing as argument over here. So this is done, and now what I want is I want to pass the course name. So now what I want is, now this is what I want. So if I pass that course number, I want details of that course. So the course ID, the course name, plus the list of students who are pursuing that course. So for this much part, I have a API, I have a method in the repository interface ready for me. Okay, I have the repository interface method ready, to which I will pass the course number and it will return me the list of students. So this much is taken care of. So if I pass 1, it will return me this. If I pass 2, it will return me this. Okay, now what I want is, when I pass 1, I also want the course name also. So what will we call this endpoint as? Fetch details of course by course ID. So what we can do is create an endpoint, okay, and we will be using the course repository class. Okay, so I will say get course by course ID. To it I will pass the course number and of this we will now call the course repository which we have over here. The course service is where the controller, right? Controller will call the course service, and of that we will need this function. So I'm keeping the function name as same passing argument as C number. Okay, so now this method is not there in the course service, so let's create it. Okay, so this is giving me the list of students. I want the entire course. I want the course details. I just don't want the list of students. I want the, so when I pass the course number, I want all this. I want all the details of that particular course. So it should return me the object of course type, not student list. So let's go to the controller, and from there we have to keep on changing. Okay, so this will be, response will be one single course, because I will pass that number and I want to see details of that particular course. Okay, so you can change the method list to course, and now I want to prepare a new course repo. I don't want to use the existing course repo, the interface one. Now I will prepare my course class. Okay, so try to understand this concept. So I'll go to the repository. So I already have a course repository, which is the interface. Now I want the course. I'm making a class now. So course repository CL. Okay, I will call it as my class. So just I'm making the class. So all I have to do is just auto wire it with repository. Okay, and now I will auto wire object of this in my course service. So I go to course service. So I already have auto wire of the interface repository. I will make it, I'll auto wire object of this also. Okay, so import, yeah. And now using this course service, I will call the method. So here whenever I will call, I will use this repository. Okay, so I will say course repository, and now I will create a method with the same name and pass this as an argument, the course number. So now I go here. So now I have a method over here. Okay, so now what will be the query for this now? And I will be using the JDBC template in this, right? So let me auto wire the JDBC template, make object of that. Okay, and I will also be querying the existing function from this course repository interface. Okay, which will give me, where is it? So we had, okay, maybe it was in the student repository. So it was in the student repository, this function. I'll be needing this function. So if once I get the course ID, I can call this function, find by course ID. Okay, so this is in which student repository, so I'll be needing this also over here. So in my class, I'll auto wire both of them. Okay, so now let's try to prepare the query first. So what will be the query for course details? Select star from, what is the table name? what is the table name? The table name is course, COURSE. Select star from course where, what is the primary key? Course underscore ID. Is this the primary key? Yeah. Okay. So where course underscore ID equals to question mark. Okay. And now my this class. Okay. So I will be creating object of the course and using this JDBC template. So this dot as it will return me one single object, my method will be query for object. Query for object. Okay, I'm executing this query, and whatever this will return the result set, to map it to a course class object, I will make a course mapper, and the first argument will be the C number. And now create this course mapper now. Okay, create the course mapper class and put it in the util package. Okay, put it in the SBI. See, I have a SBI.util package over here, so you can put it in the util package and name it as course mapper. Okay, so this mapper class will be implementing rather. Okay, implements RowMapper. Okay, from the Spring core, and we are returning object of what type? Course, right? So this T will be replaced by course. So first import this, and then as we are implementing an interface, add the unimplemented methods, and it will be map row. Okay, so to map this, we will make an object of the, so this is saying, we are returning a course object of type course, so we will make object of type course. Okay, and now whatever data is coming from that query is coming in the result set, and this course has what attributes do I need to set of that course? I need to set its course ID and set its course name. So in the mapper I will just set these two. So my course object dot set course ID, which is coming from that result set dot get what is it? It will be get int, right? Get int of which index? Index 1. And here I will have dot set course name, and that will be get string, and that will be my index 2. So I have now set these two, but now what is left to be set? The student list. Okay, so that I will set in the repository, and I will return this object, return course. And now I will go back to the course repository. So now here in this course, so if I pass 1, this course is having course ID as 1 and course name as BBACA. Now for this course I need to set this. This is my student list. Okay, so that is pending. So what I do is I make a list of student. Okay, let's make it student list, and then using this student repo. Okay, so this dot stud repo, I call this method, which one, which will give me student by course ID. Okay, so this, so I will call this function. So I will call, and what will I pass to it? This course has now course ID as 1, right? So I can say this course dot get course ID. So it will return me the entire student list. Import the list, import the student from util. Okay, student from the entity package. And now I've got the student list. Now I've got this also ready. Now set it to this course dot set student list is your student, and as we are telling we will return a course, so this is that course we will return. As simple as that. Okay, so this is the repository will return it to the course service. Okay, and course service will return it to the controller. So, and controller will return it to the front end. Okay, so this is my get course by course ID endpoint I've created. So let's try to test this. Okay, so I open my API dog, then in my course APIs I go and try to create a new API. Okay, I already have existing APIs in course, so I can take that get single course details. Okay, so I can copy this, create one more API. Okay, paste this and change the controller. Get course by course ID. Get course by course ID. Okay, and you can use CL also, that we get to know that it is using the class repository. Okay, and just give name to it. Just give this name with space separated. Get. Okay, save, and do a run. What is the request param C number, right? So okay, we didn't execute the code yet, so we should first go and execute it and get an idea as to what's going on. Okay, application started. Go to the API doc, C number and pass 1 to it. Let's do a send, and it returns me the entire details of course number 1 with the course ID, with the course name and the list of students who are doing course number 1. If I pass 2 and do a send, it returns me the course ID and the course name and list of students who are doing course number 2. So this was passing. I wanted to show details of a single course. Okay, now what if I want to see details of all the courses? What if I want to see this? Now I want to see all the courses. Course number 1, what is the ID, what is the name, and what is the student list. Course number 2, what is the ID, what is the name, what is the student list, like this, blah 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 blah. I want to see all the details. Okay, so it will be a non-parameterized function because we will not be accepting any parameters. So okay, so I say get all courses. Okay, so I say get all courses and so we are non-parameterized function. No need to give a hash. Non-parameterized function, no parameters. Okay, so we go to the course details. We'll call a non-parameterized function where the name get all courses. Okay, this function is not there, and this will return me list of courses, right? Return me list of course. So this is not there, so add it. Add a method get all courses list of course, and now I will using this new repository which I created. I will call a function by the name. This function is not there. Try to create it. Okay. So now I create this method. Now what will be the query? Query I know will be very simple. Select star from course. That's all. Okay. And now this will return me a list of course, right? This was returning me a single course, so I made object of single course. This will returning a list of courses, so I have to make object of list of courses. Okay, so I'll make it course list equals to, okay, so let's make an array list of it. Array list. Okay, so import this array list, and now using this JDBC template I'll fire the query, but this time I know it will not return me a single row, but it will return me multiple. So for this we'll have a query. Okay, so which query are we firing? We are firing query, and who will map this? Will map this, whatever records are being returned will be of course type. So to map it, I am using a course map. Okay, so the same course mapper we can use. Okay, and what will this do? This will return me a list of courses, so I store it in the course list. Now for each record, for each record, the course ID and course name I have got. Okay, so it has mapped the course ID for record 1 and course name. The course ID and course name for record 2 has been mapped. Now I have to map the student list for each course. Okay, so I'll run a for loop which will start from 0 index and will go till the size of this list. Will go till the size of this list, this course list. So integer I equals to 0, I less than course list dot size, and I plus plus. Okay. So now what is the value of I? 0. So here now I will create a list of students, because for each course there will be list of students. And I have a API which will, if I pass the course ID to it, it will give me that list of students, the course ID. But right now I will pass which course ID? So from my course list I will get, okay, of I, that is my 0, and of that 0 I will get the course ID. So now it will get the course ID for index 0, that is for this. So I am passing this 1, so it will return list of students for 1. Then in the next for loop I will pass 2, and it will give me list of students for that course. Okay, and in each iteration, so now in this course list which I have, so for the first course, that course ID and name has been set by the RowMapper. Now what do I have to set? The student list. So in this for loop only, what will I set? This stud list dot. Now what it needs to be set? What needs to be? Okay, for all of them, right? So I will say get of I. I'm talking of the 0th index. Of this 0th index, I want to set the stud list. So this is for that course list. For this course list. So for the course list, for the 0th index, for the course list for 0th index, course ID and course name has been set by the RowMapper. What do I have to set now? Stud list. So I'll say dot set stud list, and that will be your stud list. And once this for loop finishes, I can return the list of course, which is my list of course. This is my list of course. Okay, this should work fine for me. And I'll run this. I go to my controller, create a new API in the course one. Okay, so get all course details, something like this only. I copy it in my course APIs. I create a new API, and it's get all courses using the class. Okay, get API, give some name to it. Okay, save, run. If my application has started, yes, it has started, and do a send. It will give you details of all the courses. See, course ID 1, name, student list. Course ID 2, name, student list. This is the code for that. This is my course repository. This is the code in one single frame. Okay, so first you will have to understand how this JSON works. तो ये क्या है? स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट मतलब क्या? स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट मीनिंग क्या है? कि वो लिस्ट है, राइट? लिस्ट है, तो ये उस लिस्ट का 0 इंडेक्स है, करेक्ट? और ये उस लिस्ट का 1 इंडेक्स है, क्योंकि हमारे पास 2 ही कोर्स है, इसके लिए 0 और 1 इंडेक्स पॉपुलेटेड है, करेक्ट?
यस सर।
तो हमारे एपीआई का रिस्पॉन्स क्या है? लिस्ट ऑफ कोर्सेज, यस और नो?
यस सर।
ओके, तो वो मैंने यहाँ लिख दिया कि रिस्पॉन्स लिस्ट ऑफ कोर्सेज है, और उसको मैंने बना दिया एक नाम गेट ऑल कोर्सेज, and I'll be using the class for it, so I put the cl suffix after that, right? Then to get all the courses, what I have to query? So to get all the courses means I'll be querying this table, right?
Yes sir.
So what do I do? Select star from course, so it will give me this record. So my RowMapper will only map these two, right?
Yes sir.
My RowMapper will only map these two, course ID and course name, correct? So I put the query, and that query will return me a list of courses. So I make a list of courses. Correct? ये मैंने प्रिपेयर कर
Yes,
लिया.
sir.
तो क्वेरी समझ में आ गया. और मैं जो रिटर्न करने वाला हूँ, क्या रिटर्न करने वाला हूँ?
List of courses.
So what I will return, I have prepared that. Correct? Here what was I returning? Course, right?
Single course.
So यहाँ पर what am I returning?
List of courses.
List of courses. तो वो मैंने प्रिपेयर, जो मैं रिटर्न करूँगा वो प्रिपेयर कर लिया मैंने. ठीक है यहाँ तक? ओके. अब मैंने JDB से टेम्पलेट से क्वेरी एग्जीक्यूट किया. तो ये चूंकि एक वन सिंगल रो कर रहा था रिटर्न, तो क्या था उसके लिए फंक्शन?
Query for object.
और ये मल्टीपल रोज रिटर्न कर रहा है, तो क्या हो गया इसके लिए?
Query.
क्वेरी. तो कौन सी क्वेरी एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा हूँ मैं? ये क्वेरी. अब वहां से जो भी डेटा आएगा वो आएगा रिजल्ट सेट में, है ना? हमने JDB से पढ़ा था टेम्पलेट में, JDB से पढ़ा था हमने एडवांस जावा में कि सिलेक्ट क्वेरी. याद है? वी हैड फंक्शन कॉल्ड एज एग्जीक्यूट क्वेरी, एग्जीक्यूट अपडेट. याद है?
Yes, sir.
तो execute query will return a results. Whatever that query will return will be stored in the result set. So now what will come in this result set? This all data will come in the result set. Correct? So whatever this query will return will come in the result set of the RowMapper. So what is there in the result set? This is there in the result set, right? So what I passed to the RowMapper, this course mapper, I am passing the result set, which is the what is this query is returning. So this query is returning me this, because I am doing select star from course. Correct? You agree or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will iterate this row by row in the RowMapper class. So I come to the course mapper. Now in the RS, so I am making a course object. So now I make a course object. Okay. So I make a course object. And now in this course object, what all do I have to set? One course object has what all? Tell me.
Course ID, course name, and list of students.
Okay, so one course object has course ID, has course name, and has a student list, which is list of students doing that particular course. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So I make this object over there. So now it will take row by row. What will it do? Row by row it will populate this course. So in the first iteration, what is there in this course object? What is the ID? So I am setting that over there, that for the course. Okay, row by row it will iterate, right? So whatever is coming in the RS, get int. So get int of 1 is what? This is right. Where RS is pointing get int of 1, what is there? This is 1 and this is 2, right? So what is there? Get int of 1?
Course ID
1, right? So now for the course ID I am getting is 1. Correct? And what is the course name I am getting?
BBACA.
BBACA. Okay. So this is what I am setting over here. From what RS, get column 1 and get column 2 and set it in the course. So now in the first iteration, what is there in the course?
Course ID and name.
Okay, this has been come. So then I go back to my repository. Okay, right? Now what do I have to set? So this all will be populated where? In the course list, correct? So as we are having multiple rows, so I am having a course list now. This is not a course. This is a course list. And now I am talking of which index in the course list?
Zero index.
0 index. Similarly, you will also have 1 index. Correct?
Yes.
So in the 1 index, what will it populate? Course ID.
ID and course
So what is the value for that?
2 in MCA.
Okay. So this who is doing for you? The RowMapper is doing. Correct. So for it, now it will map to and whatever is the course. Now both, so this is course list of 0, this is course list of 1, right? Anything else to be populated? So if there would have been more rows over here, there would have been more entry in the course list, correct? If there was some third course also in your database, let's say course number 3 and let's say MCOM. So what would have happened? In your course list, there would be one more index added, index 2, correct? And there would be
Yes.
one more entry of that. Yes, no, maybe. And there would be one more entry made over here for that course. So it would be course ID 3 and course name MCOM, correct? So this who is doing for you? Your RowMapper is doing, correct? But now it has left the student list vacant because we are not setting the student list in the RowMapper. RowMapper is just setting the course ID and course name and it is returning me that course, correct? So that course in each iteration is coming in my course list at each index. Okay, this the query logic will do. So it will iterate through the result set and put one object in the course list. Is this clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I want to populate which part of my course list now? Which part is pending now to populate?
Adding a student list.
Student list. Okay, so then how many student lists do I have to populate? Those many entries I have in the course list, correct? So I run a for loop which will start from 0 and will go to the list of the course list. So we'll go from 0 to 3, correct? Less than 3. In our case, we just have 2 entries. So we'll go from 0 to less than 2. So now in the first iteration, what is the value of I?
0.
0. So what I do is student repo find by course ID course list dot get of I means what? Course list of get of I means this one, correct?
Yes, sir.
Of this what I want to read 1. So how will I read 1? Dot get what?
Course ID.
So this is what I'm doing over here. Of 0 get the course ID. So what will it give me?
1.
1. And now I will pass this 1 to the student repo find by course ID. So all the students who are doing course number what?
1.
1. So that will come in which over here student list, correct?
Yes.
And to this course list now I want to populate what? Student list. For which index?
Yes. 0.
0. So I say over here course list dot get of 0 and of that set the student list. So this student list which has been returned. Getting?
Yes.
Got the logic now?
Yes.
Yes, no, maybe. I don't see a confident yes. I don't hear a confident yes.